All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So, a warm welcome, of course, to those of you who are tuning in to our specially curated podcast, the Eye Hypnosis Life Coaching Journeys. And this is an opportunity for you, especially as a healer, as a coach, to literally get that inside view where you get to hear, you get to travel along with some truly amazing healers and coaches, people who've already begun this journey, and today they're here with us to share their journey, to share, like we talk about the hero's journey and how it all began. So you get to hear from them firsthand, what is it that makes their secret sauce so special. So of course we have a very special guest with us, and let's put our hands together and welcome in Beena. Beena, you can go ahead and turn on your camera, and good to have you here. Welcome, Beena.
So much, Rahul, for inviting me. It means the world to me, and I hope I do justice with our conversation forward. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. So, firstly, as I said, warm welcome, and really looking forward to hearing your story, and how your how you got to do, and how you came to be the person that you are today. So maybe we'll start at the top, and this is a question that you may be asked ever so often. So, Bina, what do you do?
Okay. So, I am a life and business coach. Before that, I am a mother of two and I'm a wife of an army officer. So that makes me a proud mom, a proud wife. And yes, today, by the grace of God, I've been able to build a business where I help life coaches and healers to monetize their passion. We know that we are here to serve and we have that intention. At the same time, as an empath, if you have more, you can give more to the world. And with that intention, I decided to help life coaches and healers only to monetize the marketing side, integrate it properly, and bring a lot of abundance in their life as well.
Awesome. So, just hearing you say this, I'm sure it's taken you a journey to get here. And just the way that you're speaking, there's that confidence. There's a very calm confidence in the way that you're speaking about what you do today. But I'm sure, it didn't happen overnight. It was a journey for you as well to get to this point. And, as I said at the top, this is the reason why I really look forward to hearing, stories of, and I get to hear your story of how you got to, reach this point in your life and you're doing the things that you're doing today. So, you're more than welcome to take us along this journey to the beginning. Like I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with this concept of the hero's journey, which is basically you were a certain person at one point, and then eventually you got to be who you are today. So we are looking forward to hearing and seeing the journey through your own eyes. So take us back in time. Like, how did all of this begin?
Yes, so it all started as me being an ambitious girl, and of course, I always wanted to be independent. I never took money from my father, even
Hmm.
as a teenager, like from the age of 17 or 18. I never took money from him. I was so independent. By the age of 23, I was traveling all over the world. I was in the fashion industry working for some international brands. And there I built a very brilliant career for myself. And after all of that happened, then of course I got married, and a marriage brought a lot of changes in me as a person, because I had always looked up at to my mother, and subconsciously we all embody, and we have our own heroes. So my hero was my mother, and I embodied unconsciously so many traits from her. And that brought a lot of confusion in me after my marriage and after having kids, because I had always seen her as a very sacrificing person. And I thought that sacrificing your life and your dreams for others makes you a better person and the best wife and the best mother. That is how you become a great mother and wife. And that confusion led me to leaving my career, because I was telling myself a story that, if I work hard and if I become too busy, my children will suffer and they will not be able to do well in their career. And of course, my husband was super busy. He was a doctor in the army, and we were moving to little places, and lots of things were happening. He had to study further. So I thought that, like, then my children, they will be all alone. The father will not be there and the mom is busy. So I'm the one who has to take a back foot, and I have to support my husband. I have to support my kids. And this is not just my story. So many of us Indian women are like this only. So it's just one of those stories, I would say. And leaving everything for almost 5 years put me in a place of extreme shame for my own life. And I was feeling, yeah, from being a person who never took money from anyone to now, even for 500 rupees, I'm dependent on my husband and I have to ask. And you won't believe, Rahul, I was a person, I would go to another room, I would
Mm.
wipe my tears, I would come out, and then I
Yeah.
would ask for money. So it would, it would break me into so many pieces. And then I realized, is this the journey that I signed up for myself? And I thought I was doing a great job, but I was not able to respect my own self in the process. And that is when one of my mentors came in my life. As they say, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. And she had seen me as a very very upbeat person, and very inspiring person for that matter, full of life. And she told me, hey, what happened to you? Where is that girl? Like, you're not sounding like the same person. And I broke down to my mentor and I said that I don't know where is that person gone, because I don't associate any longer to that person. So she told me that, why? But why so? And I said that because, like, who am I? I'm just nobody in this world. I don't have a career. I'm just like a stay at home mom and, just that regular person. And, from being a star performer to this person. So this mentor told me that, so basically what you mean to say is your career is you. And I said, yeah, of course, like people who make money, they are supposed to be seen as successful people in the world. And she said that, so you are looking at happiness and self worth in all the wrong places. Let me tell you that. That day, something shook in me. And I thought that maybe I need help. And I said, I really am missing that part. I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. And I started learning scriptures under her. So she was my first mentor who taught me all the scriptures from Patanjali Yoga Sutra. We started, and I started learning all of that. For 2 years, she made me teach, and I cleaned. A lot of healing happened in the process. And then one day she said, I think you're ready to fly. I think you are, you have the fundamentals in place, and go ahead and do something more meaningful, and something which you want to create. And I started thinking that if this is my story, so many women are like me. And I started exploring other options, and I saw, oh, there's an industry that exists, life coaching, healing, where you heal yourself, you can heal others. And I got so fascinated. And just like all of us, I started doing courses after courses, and life coaching and healing and Reiki and this and that, whatnot. So all the courses in the planet, NLP, everything happened. Of course, I was growing as a person, but I was not able to make money. So I realized that, yeah, like I'm getting a lot of love messages from people. You are my angel. You changed my life. But my bank account is, like zero.
Mm.
So that that was something I started thinking that now my savings are gone. I have no more money. I'm still like wherever I was at even more minus in terms of money. Of course, healing happened, so it was not
Mm.
shaking me so much. But if I want to contribute to my family, I was not able to. That's number one. Number two, when I started studying these concepts, I came across a concept of value elicitation. And then
Mm.
I figured out that, hey, I was living my life not according to my values. I was living my life according to my mom's values. And that is why I was a frustrated person. So my top values were contribution. And I was not contributing neither to my family, neither to the world. So I realized this is why it's like this. And for me, second was family, further to contribution. So I realized if I will not contribute with my life in a bigger way in this world, I will always remain this suffocated person. So it is not even about money. So of course, all this journey happened and so much of clarity happened. And I started looking at myself as myself, not
Mm,
my mother.
mm,
And of course, everything changed after that. And then came a day where I got another lesson in my life. So my 8-year-old son, he comes running and is playing football, and the ball comes right there in the drawing room, and it was like almost about to hit my face. And I'm like, what are you doing? And you know what this 8-year-old boy said that day, Rahul? He said, Mom, what are you doing? Look at dad. He's so successful. You are just nowhere.
wow.
And I just was quiet for a few moments, and I thought, oh, it's okay. He's building perception about the world, and this is not the time to give it back to him. And in my heart, I'm thinking, oh, but this is the boy for whom I left everything. No, I had a thriving career. I was traveling all over the world, and I left everything. And now he's saying, you are just nobody. So that night I could not sleep, and I was introspecting that why my that same son is not able to respect me. And if I told myself that, but I actually was doing to get respect from my children and my husband. But honestly, after leaving everything, neither my husband was respecting me nor my son was respecting me. So I was actually a loser in if you actually look at it in a very practical sense. And that day I made a promise to myself that I will not reply him today because I cannot reply to him when he feels that I'm a loser. I will
Mm,
reply to him when he feels I'm successful. And that day I made a promise to myself that I will not stop no matter how hard it is. I will learn the game of monetization and I will monetize. And of course, I was building up my skills at that point, and I realized that I went to all the marketing communities in India. And after paying a lot to the people, which was very hard for me to pay because, of course, I had no savings at that point, it was not working for me because ads, they would say, oh, you have to invest in ads and this and that, and I did not had funds. And of course I was scared, what if people don't show up,
mm,
if I'm not able to sell, and how will I run my ads next month? And organically, if I would go and ask for some 5,000 from rupee from somebody, I would feel like, oh my god, now three clients, 5,000, 15,000. Like, what did I make in the month? So it was no shit crazy for me that I just lost it out one day, and I was thinking maybe there is no way for me to succeed.
mm,
That's when the universe has a plan for you, it will show
mm,
you. And then a mentor came again in my life, and he said that why don't you give you a chance with high ticket? And
mm,
that's, I thought maybe this is the last chance I'm going to give to myself. And I registered in his program by lending money from my sisters, my friends, and of course my husband had already given up on me by then. He said, Baba, mujhe maaf kar de, I can't give you more money. But from being a person who could not ask for 500 rupees from my husband, I had already become a person who could ask for money 100 times from him without bringing my ego in front of him.
mm,
By kicking his no gracefully and not developing resentment in my heart for his no. So my evolution as a person was quite high. And that is why I was very proud of myself even at that moment that I'm not bringing my anger in. And of course, he surrendered because he saw so much of zeal in me to do something, and he agreed, okay, I'll give you this one last 1 lakh. And of course I put together the whole money and I paid to my high ticket mentor. And in the first month, Rahul, of joining the program, I closed 4 high ticket clients making 4 lakh rupees, and I gave back the entire fees to everybody. And I realized this is the only way to succeed as a healer and a life coach in India. And from there, there was no looking back. I was clear I have to work only for life coaches and healers, because my journey, I know the nights when I did not sleep because
Mm.
I would feel I have potential and I could not monetize. And we see our worth in terms of money so many times. And that's a reality. Not just we, the world sees it like that. So then I started making money. And of course, by now I've already run more than 3 crores in revenue. And one day, finally, my son came to me and he said that, Mom, that is in dust. What are you doing? And that day I said, so Garvit, it's not about the money your mother is making or the money your father is making, right? Tomorrow, maybe your mom could not be making anything and your dad could not be making anything, but our love for you will remain always the same. I think something shook in him so deep that day, Rahul, that my son never judges anybody for the kind of money they make in the world. He only goes for the person's virtues. And I think that was my win as a mother as well. Having coming back to my journey, I've already told you the entire story, and of course, it's going good. My community collectively has made more than 2 crores now, and I don't have a big community. I only have a community of 62 paid members, and they're all
Mm.
on ticket, of course. But they have made this kind of money. So collectively, we've made for them more than 5 crores now. And yes, Abhi, the journey has just begun, I would say.
Mm.
So the next version is going to be even more promising. I can really feel that, yes.
Beautiful. So just for, people's clarity, because a lot of times, when once you walk the journey,
Yes.
we tend to forget, how much time it took. So if you can, and this will help people who've heard, the your story in the flow, but give us sort of like a timeline, like, like for the first couple of years, how what was that phase? The second phase was about how many years? Why I'm saying this is because a lot of times, when we see other people's journeys and we see them on the other side where they've overcome whatever was their stumbling block or their failure, right? And I'm sure you've been there as well, that it all looks so, rosy, so simple, so easy. So if and time is one thing, at least, like you said, 2 years of reading the scriptures and doing that. 2 years is a long time,
It's a lot.
right? So in your words, if you could just describe, like, typically what was each phase, like about how many years was it? Because this will also give people that confidence that, okay, maybe right now I'm at that early phase where Beena was, which means mera number bhi aayega, right? That's the intention.
So if you actually ask when did I start, decide to become this new person, it's
Mm,
almost like 7 years back.
mm,
After which 2 years I was only healing myself and studying
mm,
scriptures. After that, 2 years happened when I was doing my certifications in NLP and life coaching and this and that and all that. So 4 years of code studying,
mm,
and then marketing happened thereafter. So literally from 2022, I was putting a lot of money on learning marketing and
mm,
that, but nothing was happening. But it took me like 1 year and 3 months to completely figure out the whole process, and of course, I achieved it after that.
mm,
It's been 3 years that I'm successfully able to run the whole
mm.
business now. Yes.
Nice. Awesome. And thank you for, not only the honesty, but the clarity. Because, like I said, the reason why this pod exists is to be that searchlight for people who are on this journey, people who have realized, ki, okay, I'm meant to be a healer, I'm meant to be a coach. But I'm sure it's familiar to you as well that there are a lot of times on the journey that we get lost, right? Where it looked like, okay, I'm going to make it. And then it was happening and then it stopped happening or it wasn't happening. And, it can be very frustrating for a lot of people. And I'm saying this also because a lot of people, I'm sure you also come across them, are on this journey post COVID. So they've spent a lot of their initial years maybe being employees,
Yes.
and post COVID they kind of had this this realization that, hey, not only am I meant to focus on my own healing, but also I'm meant to do this for other people. I'm meant to serve other people. I'm meant to help other people. So I'm sure this roadmap will also help them on their journey. So
Absolutely.
now that we've come to the present, walk us through, like, typically, what what is it that you do? Because your training is in various elements, right? There's the spiritual, there's sort of like the Eastern and the Western way of doing things, right? So NLP is more Western, and you talked about marketing as well, where you've studied, the, like, how to do marketing, especially digital marketing. So, and then you talked about high ticket as well. So it's like, today, what is it that you do, and how do you help other, healers and people who are more in that giving space?
Yes. So basically, when I started the whole thing and I got success, I
Mm,
decided I'm going to help life coaches and healers. Now, there are primarily 2 to 3 challenges that life coaches have. Okay.
mm,
So I realized why this L1, L2, L3 model and all was not working for
mm,
life coaches and healers. Because it's actually applicable for people who are already in a set business and they're earning some money from there. So they have the capacity to take some risk and
mm,
they're already very confident on their skills. However, somebody who's just taken a certification, the person
mm,
itself is not very confident that yes, if I go, I'm going to change the person's life or
mm,
something is going to happen. So one, they are not confident on their skill set as a
mm,
coach.
mm,
Second, they don't know how to sell. Like
mm,
sales comes with understanding certain sales psychology, and that they have no idea about. Third, the problem is that when people, especially life coaches and healers, when they go to sell their programs, what happens is that people connect to you at them at a very emotional level. They say,
mm,
"Oh God, how this person can understand me so deeply and
mm,
connect to my feelings and my problems so well." They can, because they are empaths, they're sensitive.
mm,
They can.
mm,
But when it comes to taking a buying decision with these people, they go away.
mm,
Like, they don't invest 1 lakh rupee with you. The problem is that whenever a person makes a buying decision, the logical and the emotional side of brain both have to be satisfied in order for them to give you their money. The problem is, as a life coach, when you go emotionally, you're able to connect. But
mm,
then the person starts questioning, but why should I give 2 lakh rupees to Rahul? Like I can actually go and listen to Sadhguru. I will listen to
mm,
Shivani ji on YouTube. Why should I invest here 2 lakh rupees? This happens because as a salesperson, so you're also driving money, okay? So you have to drive sales. In order to drive sales, till the time the person's logical side of brain is not satisfied, they will not give you money. Okay, you have to understand that.
mm,
And for that, honestly, in India, there is nobody who's giving certain frameworks to life coaches and healers who can actually on the sales call turn the client's problems into tangible spaces. Okay, with tangibility means don't just talk about emotions,
mm,
talk about numbers, talk about, and don't even talk, bring them in self-awareness. So let me ask you a question. When your mother says, Rahul, go for a walk, go to gym and run for 1 hour, will you go?
mm,
No. But when you decide on your own, "Oh, I have decided, I have to make sure that I go," that day you
mm,
will, right? So the decision starts first from bringing your client into a state of self-awareness. Yes, it is required for me to invest. That self-awareness happens through the questioning pattern, of course. But then you have to do some exercises which I have built in my system, by the help of which the client makes a calculation himself that
mm,
if I don't invest within this program, I might lose 50 lakhs of my money and also 10 years of my life. Oh my
mm,
God, it makes so much sense to give 2 lakh rupees to Veena. Getting my point?
mm.
when you can bring a person in a stage where they are calculating it for themselves, now they can take decision, not because you are saying them to take that decision. This is the real sales framework that people need, and nobody in India is giving this framework to life coaches and healers. So of course I got in bits and pieces from multiple places, multiple mentors, and I
Mm.
put them together in, in my own style and built it. And this framework is giving results to my clients, and of course they understand the basics, rules of psychology, of sales psychology and all. So once you start doing it, you start mastering sales. And the second is your skill set. So no matter how much I say, if you are not energetically aligned,
Mm-mm.
if you are not convinced with what you are giving can change somebody's life, it will not happen. So I work on the little bit on the skill set side where I feel that this person requires certain skills, and I help them to prepare an undeniable offer. Once your offer is ready, your high ticket
Mm.
offer, and the person should feel, if I don't invest money in this offer, it's going to be stupid of me. That is called the power of an undeniable offer.
Mm.
A life coach has that undeniable offer. They have a system to bring leads in pipeline, and they master authentic heartful sales closing. That's when they win the game. So if I ask you that, hey Rahul, do you, as a, as you are a healer, do you feel really connected and do you feel resonance in high pressure webinars where you literally have to give them a timer and you have to say, hey everybody, the clock is ticking, and if
Mm.
in the next 15 minutes the price will go back to double and this that. We don't feel aligned, and when we don't feel aligned, our energy reaches people before we reach. We start
Mm.
thinking in our webinar, and that is why
Mm.
it's not happen. So I realized one thing very clearly, that if they are not energetically aligned, and if they are not 100% convinced with their own offer, they will not be able to sell.
Mm.
So that is why a one-to-one offer creation process happens, where I see where is their core message lies. What is it that they want to bring out in the world? And then I combine it what is currently selling it in the market. And I tell them that, see, your own idea, you can position it like this because that's more commercially viable, and
Mm.
that's how they can sell. Now they are themselves convinced, yes, this makes a lot of sense. And once that starts making sense to you, you can conquer the world. Your
Mm.
energy will reach them before you reach. And people don't buy your product, by the way, they buy you.
Mm.
So it is you who has to win the game internally first. So once that winning happens, rest all tool tactics and learning of frameworks happen, and then they start hitting the numbers. That's the magic I'm creating.
Nice.
And, I am
Nice.
excited when I talk about it. You can see it in my energy also, that I'm so passionate about doing this,
Yeah.
what I'm doing
True.
now. So, and at once I was also questioning myself, but why marketing? I'm a healer. My heart lies there. But then I took guidance from one of my mentors, and she said that, see, healing can happen in multiple ways. Some people heal by modalities, and some people heal by bringing abundance in people's lives. So you are probably, the alignment is taking you towards that, so just go with flow and surrender, and don't bring so many doubts in your own mind. That is when I got fully aligned to my mission, my purpose, and I'm enjoying the journey. Yes.
Nice. Nice. So I have to ask you this, Bina. Do you remember the moment? Maybe there was one, maybe there were a handful, but do you remember that first moment when you felt that it had clicked?
Oh my god.
Take us
I
back.
with the first high ticket client I closed.
Yeah. Take us
Yes.
back to that. Like, what happened? Like, how did it? How did like we are like sitting on your shoulder, like your, you know, let's call us your angels. So we're sitting and cheering you on, but so it's about to happen, right? So walk us through that. Like, what happened?
Guys, it's always about your first high ticket closing, okay? And because before that, you don't have that believability quotient in your own self. Can this happen? Like, you always have this question mark in your mind. So When I realized that whenever when I go on a sales call, okay, and I have to pitch my program to somebody or product, and let's say I don't have anything, like I didn't had any past evidences to prove that, oh, I can do it and all that, I decided I will borrow belief.
Mm,
Okay, so I borrowed my mentor's beliefs. I said, oh, this structure, this system is working for so many people in the world. I brought all the success stories in my mind. And I also showed myself, okay, all my winning moments of the past. So in NLP, I know that you must be knowing it's called an evidence frame. So
mm,
I created my evidence frame on my desk and I wrote down right from childhood where all I was a
mm,
winner and I was a super achiever in my life and what all I have done. So my whole list was ready and I would just internalize it and I would be in that energy and all that. And once I was in that energy, I would go and I would take my call. So my in my mind, my model was already a successful model and I was already a champion.
mm,
When I went with this approach, I was able to make my first closing. And it is only honestly about your first, second, third closing. After that, you are unstoppable because you know it works. You know the
mm,
formula works.
mm,
And yes, of course, it starts keep building up step by step when you have case studies, when you have, evidences in your own community, when your own clients start to love you, and then you start creating results for them.
mm,
I remember I was happier, even more happier than my own personal win. I remember this one of my clients, she came to me, she was in a debt, and her husband did not have any business or job at that point. And she said, how can I come inside your program? My husband is not working, and like I've already taken so much money from people. Uh, for my courses. And I asked her one thing that, hey, why can't you go back to them again and ask for money? Like I asked my husband 100 times, you see, the universe is testing you. And this woman said that, well, you know what? She's my sister in law. I've asked her 3 times. She said no 3 times to me. How can I go and ask her a fourth time for money? It's so like I feel so broken from inside in asking for money. You know what I told her? I said, you know why you are feeling this? Because you are operating from a place of ego and you are feeling that you have to go and do it, and you are not even considering that person as a universal pocket
mm,
give you abundance. You want to have that pocket to be chosen by yourself because your ego is getting battered. Okay, so if you really want to be a person who's a true healer, start to learn how to shut down your own ego. Give your ego a shut up call and understand they are not giving you, they are vehicles who are going to be a channel in something which you are going to create in the world. And I don't know what shifted in that woman that day. She went and she asked money with so much of conviction and confidence. The person could not say no to her. And she got inside my program, Rahul. You won't believe. Second month, she made 3 high ticket closings after joining me. From being a maths teacher who was charging 1,000 rupee for entire month,
wow.
started charging 40,000 rupee per client. Like she started from 40, but because her conviction was not going to 1 lakh,
Mm,
I said, doesn't matter, start with 40. She closed 3 clients of 40,000, and the second month itself, she gave back the money to her sister in law. Then the third month and the fourth month, she made more money, like she made 6 to 7 lakhs in the next 3 months. She helped her husband to set up his business because he had lost that in COVID. And when she on October last year, she called me. I remember
mm,
it was just Diwali offer we had. I had helped her to launch. She called me and she said, Beena, you know what? I have to tell you something. I was like, what? She said, I have closed one client for 1.25 lakhs.
wow.
And that day I was in tears because I could see this person evolving from where with
Mm,
nothing in her hands. She did not had money to frame her certificates and put it on the wall. And you know what I said, Rajni, I want your certificates to be up on the wall framed by tomorrow.
Mm.
She said, I'm going to do it, Bina. And that is what exactly what happened. And that day I had tears really in my eyes because I felt that what can be more beautiful than this? A woman who had
Mm.
nothing from there to, helping her husband set up his business and having so much of confidence back in her. And that day I realized, yes, this is really true healing. And today, if I fail 10 times, I will get 10 times again, get up and learn something new, because we are living in a changing world, not just for my clients, because for my, just for not for myself, but also for my clients, because I know if I don't evolve as a coach, they will not. So these are some of the stories that that like really keeps you going. And no matter how hard you feel, like somebody just messaged me, hey, where do you feel all this alignment? Because she says I'm so consistent. And I said that, oh, let's connect on a call, I tell you. So it is like this, Rahul. And I
Beautiful.
know you understand it as a healer so beautifully yourself.
Mm. Nice. Thank you
Yes.
for trusting your own gut and taking us back in time and tapping into that energy all over again. So one question, of course, that comes from a lot of people who are in the space of coaching and healing is to do with, I'm sure you've heard this n number of times, is to do with leads, right? So what was your, your light bulb moment where it just clicked and you were like, okay, I think now I, know something that I didn't before.
Okay. So basically, I used to feel, Rahul, that we have to hunt for leads, like we have
Mm.
to go out and find leads, and there has to be different strategies and all that.
Mm.
But now I realize that you are a magnet.
Mm.
Okay? If you start working on your energies, people start coming and asking you. If you just show up and you will be visible, people start asking you that, hey, what are you doing? Can we connect on a call and can we discuss what is it that, like, what kind of help can you do? So it is not about you going and trying like a thousands of strategies one after the other. It's about asking yourself, what is it that can work the fastest for me,
Mm.
and how can I be completely aligned on my mission? So whenever I'm thinking that I have to go and sell something and I have to go and get leads, it does not happen. When I think that, hey, how can I make my clients' life easier? How can I simplify this process in such a way that it starts helping them get results faster? And
Mm.
I just don't confine it to my own community, but I start spreading it out there. So now so many people have, like last week I just sent out a reel that, hey, do you want to know how you can make like, like a 60-day content in 30 seconds and things like that? Let me share a prompt with you. 10 people messaged me, can you please share that prompt? Now I know that that was one of the ways, but it was also your energy with which you were saying. It's not that a lot of people are not doing. We know we are in a chat GPT world and information is
Mm.
available on a click of a finger, but it is your alignment that matters the first.
Mm.
I am a magnet. I can attract people. I'm here to serve and I'm walking on this path of service. Sales is the most highest form of service that you can do. You know why? Because you are so detached to the process. I've realized only one thing. Whenever you're on a sales call and you are attached to the outcome, sales is gone. It's gone. It's till the time you are with the person, helping them, understanding them, listening them, you are in the sales game. It's like a
Mm.
beautiful salsa dance, but in that dance, if your focus is on getting that person inside the community, it will not happen. So that is the journey of practicing real detachment to the process. And that is what is written in Bhagavad Gita. That if you really are
Mm.
detached, only then you are going to get the fruits. But when do we practically actually do it? That's the sales call.
Mm.
Where you are doing the work, you are putting in efforts, you are going on the call, yet you are completely detached that what is going to happen at the end of the day.
Mm.
The more you detached you are, the better it gets.
Mm.
So this is
Nice.
how it works for
Very
me
nice.
and for my
So
client.
I'm very curious to know, and again, everybody has a very different, very unique path, on the journey that they've taken. You talked about how, there was this mentor of yours who showed up and, you started your spiritual practice, the study of it, and then eventually, you imbibe that over a 2-year period, and then that led to the next adventure. Um, what would you say like stands out the most from that phase, those 2 years when you were learning and healing?
Yeah. I remember one of the activities, my mentor asked me to do.
Mm,
She said that, hey, you know what? You have resentment with a lot of people. Just write it down on a piece of paper, go burn it.
mm,
And you have to call all these five people, like three, four people they were. And, like I had resentment with them that I did so much for them and all that nonsense. So she's like, you have to call these five people. And I'm like, what? I cannot possibly call these people. At least you give me any other exercise, I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to call these five people. And they will say that, Acha, now she's got her peace of mind and all that. And I'm not going to call them. No, 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 this I cannot do. You give me any other thing, I will do. She
mm,
said, don't come to my sessions from next week onward. You're not a fit person to go on this journey forward with me.
mm,
Like, what? And I was like, emotionally starving at that point. And I was like, no, 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 what if she goes away? What is going to happen to me? I said, no, 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 okay, whatever you say, I'll do. You won't believe it took me like 3 hours to prepare my mind that I have to call up these people. So by the way, I burnt it and all of that I did. I am calling these people with whom I have real issues. Like, hi, how are you doing? And these people are like, yeah, it's good. Like, I'm cold, they are cold on the call.
mm,
Almost like no conversation can happen, but I'm dragging it because my mentor has said you have to do it. And you won't believe, Rahul, what magic happened after 5 minutes. After 5 minutes of me dissolving my ego, then
mm,
people started to dissolve. And they started becoming open to talk to me.
mm,
And they said, hey, you know what? It's been so long. We haven't. And we just became like friends as if there was nothing between us
mm,
for years. And I was thinking, oh my God, what is this that happened today? And the way I slept that night after
mm,
making those five calls, I don't know whether I slept that way in the past 5 years or not. But that is one of the experiences I
mm,
remember very profoundly with my mentor and
mm.
shifted a lot in.
Beautiful. Amazing. So, a couple of questions at this point, Bina. One is, of course, um, in the work that you're doing right now, is there any particular, maybe a program or something that you want people to know about? Of course, all your links are already added, but is there something in particular that you want to share? And obviously, this is at the time of the recording. Obviously, if they see this later, the links are there, so they'll be able to reach out to you and get to know whatever is the most recent program that you're running. So at this point of our recording, is there something that you want to share with people that can help them, especially they are life coaches and healers?
At this point, I'm working only on one single program.
Hmm.
Like I used to give certifications on healing and life coaching, but
Hmm.
stopped doing that. My only focus right now is monetization. I only help now life coaches and healers to monetize to 2 to 3 lakh rupees monthly income, and
Hmm.
that will happen in 3 steps. So if you're really interested to know what are the 3 steps, you can always book a call. I'll share the links. It'll be here underneath the podcast, and you can book a call with me. Get on a call, and there I'll walk you through the exact roadmap, because it's also very important for me to understand where they are stuck,
Hmm.
what is the challenge they are having. So you can book a call with me, get on a clarity call, and I will guide you step by step what exactly you will have to do in order to make that result happen for yourself. And
Hmm.
of course, it's not important that you come to me only after that. understand the roadmap and just ask your inner GPS, where are you feeling alignment? Just surrender to that voice and go and do it. Because I'm going to
Mm.
tell you one thing very clearly. It's like just like a cycle, your skills is one of the wheel of the cycle, and
Mm.
marketing is the second wheel of the cycle. Unless they fix these two wheels together, they will not move forward. That is for sure.
Mm.
And most of them feel that after doing certification I will be able to make money.
Mm.
Please break this belief,
Mm.
because you can sit all your life with your certificates in your hand or on your wall making zero money, right? McDonald's doesn't make the best burgers in the world, but they're most successful company in the world. The reason is that they're very good in their marketing. So you can be a beginner, you can be an average coach, still trying to get better, and yet you can make money if you fix the second wheel. If you really want to fix that wheel and if you want to move forward, book a call with me so that we can connect and I can guide you how you can do it for
Mm.
yourself.
Nice. So, this is a very important segment that we're about to get into. And this is, of course, what we call the journey of mentors, right? So, walk us through, who were these mentors? What was it like at each phase when they came in? Tell us a little bit about them. And more importantly, how that mentor's presence, shaped your journey.
Yes. So I think at different levels in
Mm-hmm.
life, depending on the emotional space where you are, you need different kinds of people
Mm.
in different
Mm.
segments of your life. So I think the most important were for me was that mentor of mine who came at first because I was in a very low state of mind, and
Mm.
emotionally I was very weak. My husband was also not available to support me because he was so focused on his studies at that
Mm.
point. This woman, when she came in, she started teaching me scriptures, and the way she handholded me, and you won't
Mm.
believe, Rahul, I was so fortunate. She did not charge anything from me. Like for 2 years, imagine somebody gave me her
Mm.
every single week. She was connecting with me on Zoom and she was taking sessions with me. And I am so lucky to manifest a person like that, because at that
Mm.
I even didn't had money to give her, and I didn't have the mindset to invest also on a program at that point.
Mm.
This woman, I don't know in what ways I could ever repay, or
By the way, you're also welcome to share the names of these people. The
yeah,
reason why I say this,
Alka Lal. Okay,
okay.
and yeah, so she is not those regular people
Hmm.
whom you would find on the
Yeah.
internet with a page or something, but she is a Vedanta expert. Okay,
Hmm.
and she is a very like a person whom you would not find online at all. But because she was my senior in one of the companies where I used to work, so I was her, I was
Hmm.
assisting her in my initial years of career. So that's how the whole thing happened, and she was
Hmm.
having a close bonding with me at that point. So she said, okay, I will help you, that way.
Hmm.
And I don't know, like I can never ever repay my debt to her,
Hmm.
what she's done in my life, and the way she handholded me, and she even scolded me sometimes, for the way
Hmm.
I was thinking and all of that. And um so that is one person who's always going to be in the center of my heart forever. Alka Lal is her name. And the second person, then of course, when I became a little emotionally stable, I did NLP and all that. NLP I did from SK Consultancy, and there was this one person, Pooja Saran, ma'am, and I learned couple of things. What I loved about her was, the way she would put forward the concepts. Like she would take a very complicated topic or a subject, and she would just break down it into like a melodious story, and we would
Hmm.
so all lost. And by the way, she is also a hypnotherapist, so
Hmm.
I really love her a lot, and I think somewhere she has also touched my life very profoundly. Rest, everybody, I have deep gratitude to all my
Hmm.
mentors. Like I've learned marketing from Russell Brunson's program. I have learned from Blair Singer and many other marketing mentors. I
Hmm.
also have learned from Siddharth Rajshekhar. I've also learned from Gopal Krishnan. So different people have taken different elements. Like
Hmm.
I can't name one thing from one person.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you ask me who is the main person who like kind of changed everything for me, that was Alka Lal.
Mm.
And unfortunately you all can't find her. I was the lucky one, and now like she doesn't do it professionally, so
Mm.
probably it won't be there. But
Mm.
yeah, that's the person who made the biggest impact in my life.
Nice. Awesome. So, as we slowly start to wind down, or as they say in podcast land, as we start to land the plane, um, one very important question is, is there a question that you wished I had asked you, which I've not yet asked you? What would that be?
Okay. So, yeah, of course, you can ask me that. What is the one message you want to give to all the people are
All
who are
yours.
listening to us?
Go ahead.
I think that was the next question from you as well. So, I would just say that, don't dim your light. Ask
Mm.
yourself what brings spark in you, what lights up your soul, what makes you happy. And when you get answers, follow that path. Because
Mm.
that's the biggest gift you can give to this world. Your happiest version is the only gift we can give to this world. So, my whole wish for you is, and everybody who's listening to us today, is please walk on the path that makes you the happiest person in the world. And if you don't
Mm.
have answers, true answers, connect to somebody who can guide you. And like just the way I was borrowing beliefs from my mother, and I don't know who I was myself authentically, sometimes we need mentors and coaches to guide us. So go ahead and take help from people who can really guide you on that
Mm.
journey. And yes, of course, I want to see your bright smiles and living the best life you can live and create something phenomenal
Mm.
in whatever time we have on this planet. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that message. And of course, as I said, to those of you who've reached this point of the pod, you obviously know that you've connected with Bina very deeply. And especially if you are a life coach or if you're a healer and you're looking for that missing piece, definitely reach out. And, like what Bina also mentioned, that you never know how this can turn around for you. And, definitely reach out, find out from her, what are those 3 steps. And who knows, maybe you yourself will be seeing a different look, a different, approach to your own business. So, thank you once again for your time, your energy, and all the beautiful, power that you've shared and your stories that you've shared, because I know that these are what really make all the difference. So, to those of you who are watching this, of course, keep coming up, really more than anything, keep showing up, because that is really what makes all the difference. So once again, Bina, thank you for taking the time and coming on the pod. And of course, for those of you who have, reached here, you know that we keep coming back with more and more pods of stories of people who are doing some amazing work out there. So having said all of that, of course, as always, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, we will be back with more. And one final thank you, Veena, for being with us.
And thank you to you, Rahul. Before we end, deepest gratitude to you because you are the one who set the intention. You are the one who aligned with your purpose. And that's when, you are walking
Mm.
on the journey of connecting people together. So, this whole idea of both of us coming together, it's only because you set that intention. For that, I'm really grateful to you because we both could be busy in our different
Yeah.
worlds at this point,
Yeah.
but we don't know. Even if we can touch one person in this
Mm.
hour of podcast which we've
Yeah.
recorded, it'll be
Yeah.
worth our time. So, thank you so much, Rahul, for
My
being
pleasure.
such a great blessing to the world. Please
My
keep
pleasure.
doing the work you're doing. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. And one final, I will be remiss if I don't mention there's, we only see what we see on the outside, but there are a lot of, wheels within wheels. And of course, we are driven by community. So, it's not just me. In fact, you have interacted with Debasmita, so she's somebody who is, steadfastly working behind the scenes, ensuring that, we keep finding amazing guests who are, right place, right time to come and share their stories. So, hats off to her as well. And Pina, having said all of that, thank you. God bless. And as always, remember to live your purpose. Just give me one quick second while we end the streams, and then we'll end it here. And with that, one final time, take care. God bless. Until the next one.